Our story starts as happily as any other Christmas story would, with death. Amoria was dead to begin with, as dead as a doornail. In life, she was business partners with a cold moneylender named Liora Scrooge. Scrooge was a tight-fisted, hand-at-the-grindstone kind of gal, never spending what she felt she didn't need to. Hard and sharp as flint, but too cold to ever start a fire, and as self-contained and solitary as an oyster. Her frigid demeanor matched the icy cold air of the Christmas Eve day, ignoring all those around her who were merry and filled with joy and cheer. She mumbled
"Bah humbug."
Scrooge made her way into the firm. The sign still read, "A Marley and Scrooge Financial Institution." As she entered, she was greeted by her bookkeepers, the Palkeries, shivering as their paws stuck to their pens. Scrooge, unaffected by the sheer cold, perhaps due to her frozen heart, walked past them and addressed her most loyal employee, Rowa Cratchit.
Rowa Cratchit?
Yes, Miss Scrooge?
Prepare those eviction notices to go out first thing tomorrow.
But ma'am, tomorrow is Christmas.
Very well. You may gift wrap them. Christmas is a very important time of the year for us, Mrs. Cratchit. People prepare parties and feasts, spend their money on pointless gifts rather than their mortgages. December truly is the most merry time of the year for us moneylenders. What are you all whispering to yourselves about over there?
Miss Scrooge, if you please. This winter has been quite harsh and the building has only gotten colder. The bookkeeping staff are all hoping to have an extra lump of coal for the fire if possible.
Oh? And how warm would the bookkeepers be out on the streets? If you keep up with these pointless complaints, I'll have you all unemployed.
It seems that you've convinced them another year, ma'am.
At that moment, Scrooge's door flew open, followed by a very bewitching laugh. It was Scrooge's niece, Miss Meeta Osita, and Scrooge's last living family.
A Merry Christmas to you, Auntie Scrooge.
Bah humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Auntie. Surely you don't mean that.
Merry Christmas, you say? What right do you have to be merry? What reason do you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
Oh, what right do you have to be so bitter? What reason do you have to be so grim? You're rich enough.
Bah humbug.
No, Auntie, don't be mad.
What else can I be when I live in a world surrounded by fools? Merry Christmas. Out with your Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time to be paying your bills without money? A time for you to be older but no richer. If I could have it my way, every idiot who dares to utter the phrase Merry Christmas would be boiled in their Christmas coffee and have their stupid Christmas holly stuck through their heart.
Auntie, you don't mean that. You better change your attitude or Santa's gonna bring you something nasty tonight, like a ghost.
My dearest niece, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
But Auntie, Christmas is a loving, honest, and charitable time. A time that brings us together, not drives us apart. It's the time of year we can all come together as equals and share in the warmth of joy that Christmas has to bring to us. Though Christmas has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that Christmas has done me good and will do me good. V&U bless it.
And how would you all like to celebrate Christmas unemployed with your pockets empty? You have quite the way with words. You should consider becoming an entertainer, or perhaps a politician.
If I did, I'd make a law that forced you to celebrate Christmas, Auntie Scrooge. Oh, I almost forgot. Auntie Scrooge, I came here to invite you to have dinner with me tomorrow.
Oh, why is that? What, did you get married?
Ding, ding, ding! You guessed it! I'm in love and we're celebrating tomorrow! Oh, please, won't you join us? I would love for you to meet her!
In love? That's the only thing in this world more ridiculous than a Merry Christmas.
I guess there's no getting through to you, is there, Auntie? The offer still stands. I hope to see you tomorrow for our feast. Merry Christmas to you, Auntie Scrooge, and a Happy New Year.
Bah, humbug.
Now, Christmas is a time for charity, and as customary in these parts for Christmas Eve, well-meaning fellows call upon businesses to collect donations for those who are poor and without homes to call their own.
Hello? Am I speaking to Miss Scrooge and Miss Amoria?
Amoria died 7 years ago on this very day. I'm the one in charge of this firm. Who are you and what do you want?
We're from the Other Virtual and You Charity Foundation.
During this festive season, Miss Scrooge, there are so many who suffer greatly in need of a warm home and common comforts, ma'am. With a small donation, you can play a huge role in—
Are there no prisons? No poorhouses?
Oh, there are plenty of those, ma'am.
Oh, thank goodness. You had me worried there for a moment.
We're here to create a fund to help the poor and homeless, Miss Scrooge, to give food and shelter to those who need it most.
What can I put for your donation?
Nothing.
Oh, you want to remain anonymous?
I want to be left alone. I don't make myself happy at Christmas, and I can't afford to make others happy. My taxes pay for the prisons and poorhouses. Send them there if they need be.
But Miss Scrooge, some of these people die there. There isn't aid for those less fortunate.
Then let them die. It'll make your jobs easier with the less of them around, wouldn't it? Now there's the door. I think it's best for you two to leave.
Let's get going.
Yeah, I think we're taking enough of your time. Merry Christmas.
Bah, humbug.
Excuse me, Miss Scrooge. It's closing time.
Very well. I'll see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Well, tomorrow's Christmas Day.
8:30 then.
If you please, ma'am. Half an hour off hardly seems fair for Christmas Day.
Hardly fair.
Not at all.
Then just how much time off is fair, Mrs. Cratchit?
The whole day. If you would be so kind, please, Miss Scrooge. No other business will be open tomorrow. No one will be out. No one will wish to do business with you. I mean, if anything, all it will do is cost you more to keep it warm here, wasting all your expensive coal.
You do have a point. Not a good one, always asking me to have off every December 25th. But since I'm the only one here who disagrees, fine. Have tomorrow off. But you will all be here at 6 o'clock the next morning.
Scrooge lived in the mansion that once belonged to her old business partner, Amoria. The building was a dismal heap of brick, a lavish house devoid of any joy. Lonely, empty rooms, a dead garden, a rotten-over shed that could have once been a lovely doghouse for Amalia's pet Amorons, but now, through the years of neglect, is nothing but a painful reminder of her death. Now, once again, I must remind you that Amoria was dead, decaying in her grave. That one thing you must remember, or nothing that follows will seem wondrous. Now, it is fact that there is nothing at all particular about the knocker on the door, except that it was comically large. It is also fact that Scrooge had seen this knocker every night and morning for the past 7 years of her living at Amalia's home. Let it also be known that Scrooge had not once thought of Amoria on her mind since mentioning her that afternoon. Knowing that, the unexplainable had happened to Scrooge. Having her key in the lock of the door, saw the knocker change before her eyes. No longer the knocker, but Amalia's face. Amalia's face. It was not a trick of the light, or something Scrooge had ate earlier that day, but Amalia's face, where the knocker once had been. She looked on to Scrooge, not with rage or happiness, but a distant, pained expression. Her eyes were wide open, perfectly motionless. As Scrooge looked fixatedly at this phenomenon, it was a knocker once again. To say that she wasn't startled or that she had a pit forming in her stomach quickly filling with dread would be untrue, but she had put her hand on the key, turned it sturdily, and walked inside. She did pause, with a moment of fear as she looked back outside of her home before she shut the door. She did look cautiously through her living room at first, as if she half expected to be terrified with the sight of Marley's pink pigtails. But there was nothing. Scrooge had been all alone in the empty home. She shook her head and continued into her home. Scrooge made her way up the dark staircase. Normally not one to care about the darkness in her home. Darkness was cheap, and Scrooge liked cheap. But the incident at the door had made Scrooge wary. Before she shut herself in for the night, she made sure to check all the rooms. The dining room, the unused guest room, the anime figurine collection room. All as they should be. Nobody under the table, nobody under the beds, and not an anime girl misplaced. Quite satisfied with her search, she closed her door and locked herself in. She even double-locked herself in, which was not something she normally did. Scrooge put on her dressing gown and slippers and, of course, her nightcap, which made sure she had good dreams, because why else would they wear nightcaps back then? She sat by the fire and ate her gruel for dinner. The fire was very dim, hardly enough to brighten up Scrooge's room, let alone keep her warm. As she finished her gruel, Scrooge could hear the bells of the clock in her room toll. It was midnight. Just as the final bell rang, she heard a low groan.
Who's there?
As Scrooge got up in a panic, the fire went out, plunging her in darkness. As Scrooge backed away from the fireplace, the flames ignited once again, a ghastly pink flame. Through the fire floated out a specter. The ghost groaned out again.
Scrooge! Wait, that voice. Amoria, is that you?
Scrooge cried out as she stumbled backwards, falling over, eyes never leaving Amalia's ghost. Her face was the same as before, pained and distant. She was dressed in the same beautiful gown Scrooge saw her in the day she died, but now tattered and burned at the ends. Chains wrapped around her form, leading to heavy cash safes, boxes of K-pop merch, and ghastly forms of her Amorons. The chains scraped against the floor loudly as she floated towards Scrooge. Scrooge couldn't believe her eyes. The ghost of Amoria came toward her. She shouted at her.
What do you want with me?
Much.
There was no doubt in Scrooge's mind. That was Amalia's voice.
Who are you?
After 7 long years, have I already faded from your memory? In life, I was your partner, Amoria.
Scrooge waved her arm through the ghost and watched as it phased through her.
Well, that's a little rude.
It looks like you, but I can't believe it.
Why do you doubt your senses, Liora?
But because any little thing can affect them. A stomach bug can cause the strangest hallucinations. You can eat a bit of undercooked beef, a crumb of molded cheese, a blot of rotten mustard. You're more gravy than grave, whatever you are.
You still suck at telling jokes. Where'd you get that one? 1943?
Humbug. See, you're nothing more than an illusion. Amoria would have loved that joke.
At that comment, Amoria let out a frightful shriek and shook her chains with a dismal and appalling noise. Scrooge cowered in horror as she watched the phantom remove the ribbon from her head, having her jaw unhinged as her eyes rolled back. The flame in the fireplace grew stronger with her screams.
Stop, please! Dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Do you believe in me or not?
I do believe in you, but why have you come to me?
As Scrooge pleaded with the spirit, the flames calmed down once again. Amoria returned to her normal ghostly form.
It is required of everyone in life that we must walk alongside our fellow people. If a spirit rejects that, shuts them out from others in life, and they are condemned to do so after death. They are doomed to wander through the world, and let me tell you, it sucks! I've had to witness happiness that I could never have, only forced to see what could have been!
Those chains. Why do you wear them?
I wear the chains I forged in this life. I made this chain link by link, and yard by yard. I crafted this chain by every choice I made. And from those choices, I am now made to wear them in the afterlife. Is its pattern strange to you, Liora Neezer? Or perhaps it's familiar to you? Can you feel it, Liora Neezer? The chains you've made yourself. The weight and the length of the chains you've created. I can see it so clearly. Much heavier than my own. It weighs on you even now.
Oh, please, Amoria, tell me more. Please tell me it isn't this dreary.
You wish for me to comfort you, Scrooge? I have none to give. I have only been granted permission to tell you a little more. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger anywhere. I know no rest. I know no peace. All I have is the torture of remorse.
But you've been dead for 7 years. Surely you must have been able to explore.
I'm monologuing! Don't interrupt! Now where was I? Oh yeah. Captive and bound by these chains. Only to no regret of opportunities missed. Oh, how I wish I lived differently. Oh, if only I was good.
But you were always a good woman of business, Amoria.
Business. Business. Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, kindness, benevolence were all my business. And I failed to see that in life. Hear me. My time is nearly gone. I'm here to warn you, Liora Neezer. You may have a chance to escape the same fates. You will be haunted by 3 spirits tonight. Without their visits, without listening to their lessons, you will be doomed to experience the same pains as me. Expect the first spirit to come as the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't they all appear at the same time?
What, are you trying to speedrun character growth? Oh, but they'll appear to you one after another tonight. Expect the first spirit soon.
You better hope this is the last time you see me, Liora Neezer Scrooge. But remember our past together. Remember me in life, but not for what I became. Remember me.
And with that, the ghost of Amoria vanished into darkness, leaving her once again alone in her room. Scrooge made her way into her bed, ignoring the warnings the ghost had given her. Closing her eyes, she slipped into the empty silence of a dreamless sleep.
Humbug.
Scrooge was awoken by an intense bright light outside of her bed curtains. Floating before her was a beautiful, bright, and quite sleepy spirit. Hair dancing like fire, she illuminated the room as if she were the sun herself.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
Something like that.
Who are you and why have you come to haunt me?
I'm the ghost of Christmas past, and I'm here for your well-being.
A full night's sleep without being interrupted might help my well-being.
Then your salvation. Come on then, we have places to be.
Spirit, I'll die if I follow you out that window. We're several stories up. That fall would kill me.
Dummy, take my hand. I'll make sure you don't fall, I promise.
Together, they flew over the town, over the forest, and towards a bright, blinding light. Soon, it was day once again, but they were no longer in the city. No, they were now in Liora Neezer Scrooge's childhood.
I know this place. This is my old school. I grew up here.
Well, yeah, we're in your past.
Scrooge was overwhelmed by it all. Thousands of lost memories, sights, and smells. Thousands of forgotten hopes and dreams she had.
It's just like I remember it. It looks so new. Oh, my friends. I remember them. We used to play trading card games together all the time. I taught them everything they know. Hey girls, what decks are you playing with? Girls?
They can't hear you. These are the shadows of your past, Liora Neezer. You can't interact with them. Come on, let's go inside.
As the two made their way inside, Scrooge had a flood of memories come back to her as she beheld her old classroom.
This room. I remember this room well, Spirit. This is the room I grew up in. This is the room where I decided to work in banking. The room I spent my childhood in.
And her. Do you recognize her?
Scrooge looked along the desks, and all alone in the room, studying a book, was a young Liora Neezer Scrooge.
It's me.
Liora, come on! You're gonna miss the coach ride home! Don't bother, she never comes home for Christmas.
Haha, right, I forgot. I guess her family just likes having fun for Christmas.
Who cares about stupid Christmas anyway?
Yes, well, this is kind of sad. You need better friends. Let's see another Christmas in this place.
Don't bother. They were all the same.
Then, let's see a different Christmas from your past. Come now.
The spirit guided Scrooge through the door as their environment changed. A moment later, Scrooge found herself standing in the city street, looking at a building she had not seen in years.
Tell me, Scrooge, do you recognize this place?
Recognize it? How could I ever forget this place? I was an apprentice here. That's my old boss Mivi Wig, bless her soul. It's nice to see her alive and well again.
Once again, it was Christmas Eve. The sun was setting and the lamplighters began to illuminate the quickly darkening streets. And there she was, Mivi Wig herself, poking her head out of the storefront door with a huge grin on her face.
Oh, my dear Mivi Wig, what an employer she was, as hard and ruthless as a stuffed animal on a child's bed. You know, this is where I met Amoria as well.
Is that so?
Yes, we worked together here at Mivi Wig's peanut shop.
Everyone, the sun is finally set and the lamplighters are at work. It's truly Christmas Eve. You know what that means, right? It's time for our Christmas party.
The room was filled with warmth that Scrooge had long since forgotten. Seeing Mivi Wig happily sing Christmas songs with her co-workers almost brought a tear to her eye.
What's wrong?
I never thought I would have missed her singing these dumb songs. I had forgotten how fond I was of these memories.
Hello? May I have everyone's attention for a moment? Can I have your attention, please?
She said quiet.
Thank you, Volt. Welcome everyone to Mivi Wig's annual Christmas party. As most of you may know, it's tradition for me to make a little speech. Here is my Christmas speech. Happy Christmas, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Okay, that's it.
Such a small gesture to make these silly folks so happy.
Small?
Am I wrong? She didn't spend much of your mortal money to set up this party.
That isn't it, Spirit. She had the power to either keep our lives full of joy and pleasures or take away that joy, leaving us with nothing. The happiness she gave is more great than any fortune she could have made.
Huh, that doesn't sound like you. Scrooge, are you feeling alright?
I'm fine. I'm just wishing I could say a word or two to Mivi Wig now is all. Excuse me, Miss Mivi Wig?
Yes?
I've been looking over the accounts and ma'am, I fear this party is way over our budget for this year. Do you have any—
Oh, you hush now. Why are you even doing bookkeeping tonight, Liora Neezer? It's Christmas Eve, a time to celebrate. Now, I want you to put that book down and go dance. Oh, you know, I've been wanting to introduce you to Liora Neezer Scrooge. This is a good friend of mine, Bologna. Bologna, this is Madame Liora Neezer Scrooge, the smartest financial mind the city has to offer. Though she's not too bright when it comes to romance, you might have your work cut out for you with this one.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
The same to you, Liora Neezer. Mivi Wig here has told me a bit about you before. Say, would you like to share this dance?
You know, there's another Christmas you shared with this woman. Many years after this meeting.
Oh, please, Spirit, don't show me that Christmas, please. I don't want to see it.
My love, you really want to delay our wedding by another year? It's the 5th time.
My love, it can't be helped. How can we marry when we don't have enough for a nice home together? Would you rather live in this shack for the rest of our lives? We must wait. My investments haven't grown as they should.
You said the same thing last year, Liora Nazar.
Business is the same as last year.
But you're a partner in your own firm now.
And barely making a profit.
You sound like you're making excuses.
Excuses for what?
Excuses not to be wed. All your hopes and dreams have been corrupted by the desire to become wealthy. I've seen the woman I fell in love with change every year, becoming someone I don't even recognize.
I do this for you, Bologna. I do this because I love you.
Even when we were poor and had nothing but our love, I was ready to spend the rest of my life with you. But you've changed, Liora Nazar. I truly think if we had met now, you wouldn't even speak to me, as you would see me as nothing but a penniless woman.
Bologna,
You can't even bring yourself to deny it, because in your heart, you know I'm right. I hope you find happiness in the life you have chosen, but I cannot be part of it.
Spirit, why? Why are you doing this to me? Does it make you happy to torture me like this?
I told you, these are shadows of your past, things you've done. Don't blame me because you fumbled this bad. You chose this life.
Leave me. Take me home. Haunt me no longer, Spirit.
Scrooge was left alone once again. For a moment, she wept on the floor, overcome with grief and regret from the past. As she wept, she heard the bell toll once more. Scrooge knew the second of the ghosts was due to appear as the clock finished its chime. For a moment, it was dark, silent. Long enough for Scrooge to believe the nightmare was over, that she was free from the torture these spirits have put her through. But then, she heard music play from another room. Sounds of cheerful singing and laughter. She could smell the delicious feast of meats and fruits.
Hello? I'm supposed to be helping some silly old guy learn to have fun? Come on, come here and get to know me better, man.
Scrooge followed the sounds and smells throughout her house. She found herself in her living room, face to face with a beautiful girl, dressed in the finest of fabrics, her hair adorned with fruits and flowers.
Ah, there you are. It took you long enough. The food was about to get cold.
I am the ghost of Christmas present. It's nice to meet you, Liora Nazar Scrooge.
Oh my, I don't think I've ever met anyone like you before, ma'am.
Oh, really? I have like over 2,000 sisters. Well, 2,024 to be exact, but I am the best sibling because there's no one like me.
Isn't that what I just said?
Is it? I won't lie, I wasn't paying much attention to what you were saying.
Some would say I'm absent-minded.
But really, my mind is filled with the here and now. And right now, it's Christmas! Tell me, Scrooge, have you ever noticed how things seem to be so wonderful during Christmas time?
I can't say I have spirit, but perhaps I've never truly understood Christmas.
Then mark my words, Scrooge. Before this day is done, I'll make you understand. Now then, let's get out of here. Do you know any fun things going on today? Probably not. No worries though, I got you. I want to hit up some parties.
With a swift motion, the spirit grabbed Scrooge's hand and whisked her out of the room. The spirit had brought her to the streets of the city. It was a bright, beautiful Christmas morning. Families were singing together, children out with their toys playing. There was so much cheer and happiness around. Normally, Scrooge would roll her eyes in disgust, but this time, she seemed excited to see all the joy in the air.
Tell me, Spirit, where are we going?
Oh, I know this one spot that's having a really cute family get-together that I thought you might want to see.
Why, this is my dear niece's home, Meeta Osita.
Ellie, yeah it is! You know she throws the best parties!
I mean, it's no Mivi wig party, but for a kickback, it's really fun. Come on, let's go inside.
Yum. Sayonara, my love. You make the best gingerbread cookies. Now we've had our sweets, We had our hot chocolate. The Christmas ham is still cooking. What should we do in the meantime?
Oh, how about a game?
What a wonderful idea! Christmas games are so much fun!
Do people normally play games on Christmas?
Dude, have you been living under a rock? Oh, well, guess you kinda have. Never mind.
Oh my gosh, yes! Okay, let's play one of those what am I thinking games. I'll go first. Okay, got it. Guess what I'm thinking?
Is it a vegetable?
No.
Is it an animal?
Yeah, kind of.
Is it found in the city?
Yes.
Oh, wait, is the creature unwanted?
Some people could say that.
A
A rat!
I said it first.
Nope, not a rat.
A mouse?
No. I'm surprised you haven't gotten it.
A cockroach?
No. Here, I'll give you another hint. This creature may be unwanted, but I want it.
Oh, wait, I got it! An unwanted creature by most. Not a rat, not a mouse, not a cockroach. It must be your aunt, Liora Scrooge!
Yes!
Alright, you're up with that one, huh? Oh, how did you say? Come on.
As the spirit guided Scrooge out the door, just before they left, Liora could faintly hear her niece say,
I do hope she can come by next year. Say what you want, but I know she has a good heart in her.
Just then, the world shifted around them again. They were back on the streets of the city, but these streets weren't as clean as Scrooge's niece's neighborhood. Cracks in the cobblestone, homes built out of rotten wood. But yet, everyone still seemed so merry, despite their abodes.
We're having a celebration here, too. You know this place? It's your pathetic loser worker Rowa Cratchit's house!
Perhaps it was the spirit's own generous nature and her sympathy for all poor souls that led them straight to the home of Scrooge's faithful clerk.
You smell that? They're cooking up a goose in there.
This is where Rowa Cratchit lives. This home is nearly falling apart.
Marcino dear, could you please help out your poor mother with the cooking?
Oh, yes, Mother! The Cratchits didn't live good, but where they lacked financially, they made up for it with love in their home.
Marcino dear, do you know where your mother and sister are? They're late again this year.
Oh gosh, Mom, don't worry. We'll have this yummy Christmas dinner waiting for them when they get home. I'm sure they'll be so happy.
You're right, dear. Here's a little Christmas secret between you and me.
Are you sure? I thought you said we weren't able to afford Christmas treats this year.
Yes, dear. I was about to whip something together with what we had. Please have one.
There's so little food and it's freezing in here.
As Misma Cratchit added the finishing touches to their Christmas dinner, the door swung open. It was Rowa Cratchit and their smallest daughter, Small Zeli.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Mama! Zeli! Happy Christmas! How was the park? What did you get up to?
Dear, why not let your mother get settled in? Go set the table. You too, Zeli.
Wait for me! I want to help! The goose is huge this year! Can you believe it?
That's not the only thing. Here, don't tell Mom, but I saved you some of my Christmas cookies.
Oh my gosh! Christmas cookies? We haven't had these in years! Oh yeah!
Oh no. Oh dear. Zeli, please try not to get too excited.
Here, sweetie. Come rest in your chair for a moment, alright? We can set the table. You warm up by the fire.
Okay.
How was she at the park?
Oh, she was amazing. She was as swift as any slime could be. She played in the sandbox with everyone, not once freezing over or coughing up slime out there. She did so good. She told me that she hoped the other slimes saw her because it might be pleasant for them to see a true Christmas miracle happen, to see a slime beat the odds.
Oh gosh, Moms! She's freezing up again!
Oh no! Quick, get the borax!
I think that's a sign we should eat.
The Cratchit family gathered around their small table, looking at their feast. Roasted chestnuts, boiled potatoes, cabbage soup, and of course, their incredibly small goose.
Such a meager feast. I pay Rowa Cratchit so little.
Small, but very much appreciated.
I'd like to make a toast to Miss Scrooge.
Rowa, of all people, why should we toast to that monster? She hardly lets you have Christmas off to spend with your family and demands you come back early the next day. She pays you little and treats you rotten. If she were here, I would give her a piece of my mind to feast upon, and she would choke on it.
My dear, we shouldn't speak this way on Christmas.
Well, I suppose that on Christmas, one should drink to the health of those who help provide for us, even if they are stingy, wicked, and feeling beasts.
Yes. Well, to the founder of the feast, Miss Scrooge.
To Mrs. Scrooge!
I have no doubt she'll be very merry this day.
Cheers!
And may you bless us, everyone.
Now then, let's all eat, shall we?
Spirit, tell me, small Zeli, will she live?
That chair by the fireplace, and their glue supply running low. If things continue the way they are, I believe the slime will die. But what did you say again? Is it better for her to die to decrease the population?
I didn't mean her,
As the vision of the Cratchit family started to fade, Scrooge's eyes never once left small Zeli. Her heart grew heavy, thinking of the hardships the Cratchit family had faced by her own doing. Had she been a better employer, given Rowa more pay, let her see her family more, perhaps things wouldn't have been so dire.
Come now, I don't have much time left.
What? Spirit, are you dying?
My time is very brief in the world. I am the ghost of Christmas present, remember? I only live during the present.
Spirit, please don't leave me. I've learned so much from you, please.
I'm sorry, Liora Scrooge. I must die now, for plot reasons.
There's nothing Scrooge could do or say that could stop the relentless march of those terrible bells.
You've meant so much to me. You've helped me see things in a way I never would have before. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit.
I'm glad I could do my job. Now, I'll leave you with the ghost of Christmas future. Good luck.
As the ghost of Christmas present faded away, the world around Scrooge grew foggy. She could hardly see her own hand in front of her face, left alone in this gray void. She began to wander, wondering when the ghost of Christmas future would greet her and what lessons the spirit had to give.
Hello? Hello? Is anyone there?
Scrooge called out for what felt like an eternity as she aimlessly wandered, until she spotted a familiar figure. It was small Zeli, standing alone in the fog as well. Scrooge could hardly believe her eyes as a wave of relief washed over, seeing the slime standing before her. She quickly ran over but stopped when small Zeli looked up at her, locking eyes with Scrooge.
Oh, hello. Are you here for the party too? I heard there's going to be lots of friends there, and I think cookies or something.
Scrooge was caught off guard. No shadow had been able to see her in the previous visions. Did the ghost of Christmas future finally spare her? No. There was a familiar feeling of unease forming in her stomach.
You can see me?
Well, yeah, you're the only one here. Who else would I be talking to, dummy?
Yes, you're right. It is only us here. Tell me, what party were you talking about just now?
My party! My family is throwing it for me. They invited all my friends too, which is pretty cool. But I'm kind of lost. Do you know where it would be?
No, I'm afraid I don't, but maybe we could find it together?
As Scrooge held the small slime's hands, she couldn't help but notice how cold her fingers were and how firm her slime had gotten. The two wandered for a moment together, talking and getting to know one another.
Wait, so you're the Miss Scrooge my mom talks about so much? Wow! Thank you for being a good boss to my mom. She always takes me to the park after work so I can play in the sandbox and eat on the sand. Oh, and thanks for paying her so we can afford the books. Though we always run out.
Don't worry, dear. Once we find your family, I promise you won't be running out of that anytime soon.
Miss Scrooge, can you promise me one more thing?
Of course. Anything.
Can you promise me that you'll help take care of my family? To keep them safe and warm and fed and always happy?
Of course I will.
What are you doing?
Oh, Spirit, you startled me, but thank goodness, perhaps you can help. This child is lost and running late to a very important party.
Where do you think you are right now?
No, Spirit, please, tell me this isn't true. No, this can't be, no!
Scrooge frantically ran through the cemetery, not knowing what she was really searching for, hoping it was just another illusion brought upon by the spirits, until she stopped dead in her tracks. Seeing the Cratchit family gathered atop a small hill, she quickly made her way there, with the ghost of Christmas future following behind her. Her fears were confirmed. What was once a family filled with joy and laughter was now rendered silent but for the sounds of their sobs. The Cratchits held each other close as they grieved. It was a small funeral, with Zeli's friends and slimes to mourn the now broken family. Rowa Cratchit clung to her family, seeking some happiness, even while they wept.
Look at how lovely this place is for her. Isn't it just perfect? It's the perfect spot for her to watch the slimes play in the river. Oh, small Zeli.
She always loved watching the slimes in the river.
Thank you, Phantom from Yell of Responsibility. She would have been so happy to see you here today.
Spirit, must there be a Christmas that brings such an awful scene? How could they possibly endure it all?
The spirit did not answer her. She remained silent as she reached her hand to Scrooge's shoulder, and in an instant, they were back in the graveyard, far away from the cries of the Cratchit family. Scrooge stood facing a lone gravestone. She felt a familiar sense of dread again. The same dread when she saw Amoria. The same dread when she faced small Zeli. She looked back at the spirit with pleading eyes.
Spirit, why did you bring me here? Answer me this one question, please. Are these shadows things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be? Can these events be changed, Spirit?
But the spirit refused to answer, continuing to point to the lone gravestone. As Scrooge approached the grave, she saw it was covered in filth and dirt, as if no one had come to clean or care for the tombstone in a long time. She had held her breath and began to wipe away the dirt, revealing the name: Liora Scrooge. Scrooge jumped back in horror at the sight. Falling over, she crawled to the spirit and began to beg.
Oh, please, Spirit, no! A life can be made right. Hear me! I'm not the person I once was. Why would you show me this if I truly was a lost cause? I will honor Christmas and keep true to its meaning for the rest of my life. I will not shut out the lessons the spirits have taught me. Please tell me this is not my fate. Please!
As Scrooge pleaded with the spirit, the world once again was plunged into darkness, fading away and leaving her alone once more. Scrooge tossed and turned, mumbling to herself in her sleep, lost in her nightmare of Christmas future. Through her fitful slumber, she had thrown herself off the bed, waking up from the impact.
Spirit, please! Wait, I'm home.
Yes, the bedposts were her own, the bed was her own, the room was her own. Scrooge had made it through the hauntings and was now back in her home. But the thing that made Scrooge happiest of all was her life lay before her, and it could be changed.
Oh, Asgard and Christmas time be praised for this day. Oh, thank you, Amoria, for I am here. I am alive and here. It's a miracle. No, it's more than a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. I should trademark that face. No time. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as a Valkyrie before office jobs became a thing. I'm as giddy as an anime girl.
Scrooge was excited. Having a new lease on life, she danced around her room for a moment to celebrate. Something she hadn't done in a long time. Just then, she heard a commotion outside her window. She rushed over to poke her head out. Scrooge was met with the beautiful sight of people out and about in the town, playing, dancing, singing, celebrating the wonderful holiday. She spotted a child walking below and called out to them.
You there, child!
Me, ma'am?
What's today?
Why, today is Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day? Good, I haven't missed it. Child, do you know the poultry shop, the one on the next street over?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Over? What a smart kid you are, a brilliant lad. Do you know whether the prize turkey has been sold or not?
Oh boy, the one twice as big as me? It's still there, ma'am.
Oh, good. Go and buy it for me, won't you?
What? Ma'am, be spurious.
I am being serious. Buy it for me and I'll give you a whole gold piece.
Whoa!
No, I'll give you 5 gold pieces.
Whoa!
And so, the child was off, faster than a bullet, and eager to earn her payment for the small favor.
I'll bring it to Rowa Cratchit's house. Oh, she'll be so surprised. It's 3 times the size of small Zeli.
Moments later, dressed in her finest, Scrooge appeared in the streets, wishing everyone a happy Christmas, no matter who passed her. She made her way down to the town, waving and smiling at everyone who looked her way. The townsfolk were shocked, but delighted to see the once cold woman had had a change of heart. Soon, Scrooge found herself in front of the 2 charity women she had met prior that day.
Excuse me, ladies, but about the charity donation you asked me for yesterday.
Oh god, not you again. We won't have you buried us again. Not today.
Oh, no, I don't wish to mock you. In fact, I wish to donate to your cause.
Oh, you do?
Yes, put me down for...
Holy, that much?
And not a penny less. That should cover all I've owed throughout the years as well, I assure you.
Scrooge continued down her path, happily visiting everyone she had wronged before. She visited her dear niece, Miss Meeta Osita, and her wife, Sayonara, gifting them with treats of chocolates and candles. She stopped by her firm, leaving warm mittens for each of her Valkyries, so their paws would never freeze over in the winter again. She had one visit left to make before delivering the turkey to the Cratchit home. She paused, anxiously standing outside the lone home. She took a deep breath and knocked, unsure if she would even see who she was after. Slowly, the door crept open to reveal Scrooge's first and only love, Bellone.
Miss Scrooge? What are you...
Please, I know you don't owe me anything, but please, may I have but a moment of your time?
Bellone paused for a moment, eyeing Scrooge up and down fiercely.
You may speak.
You were right to leave me when you did. I was corrupted by greed and my never-ending hunger for wealth. I see that now, and to you, my dear Bellone, I am so sorry. I'm sorry I hurt you for so long. I'm sorry I neglected you those years we were together, and most of all, I'm sorry it took me so long to see I was wrong. I understand if you'd never wish to see me again. I only wanted to give you the apology you deserved all those years ago.
Bellany was caught off guard by this. The Scrooge she had come to know would never admit that she was wrong. And yet, here she was, in front of her doorstep, giving her the apology that had been long since overdue. A small smile crept over Bellany's face.
I've waited so long to hear you say this. I don't think we can continue what we once had, but perhaps if you've truly changed, perhaps we can start again.
Scrooge's eyes lit up by the thought. She smiled up at Bellany and nodded.
I would very much like that. Oh, but first, I have a Christmas party I must attend. You're welcome to join me, of course, but I must be quick.
You? Attending a Christmas party by choice? Oh, Liora Nazar, you really have changed.
Scrooge smiled as she, along with a whole parade of people, made their way to the Cratchits' home. She was followed by the charity drivers, her beloved niece and her friends, her past love, and many, many more people from the town. She hushed them away as she tried to hide her excitement as she knocked upon Rowa Cratchit's door.
Rowa Cratchit, you, madame, were not at work this morning like we had discussed.
Oh, Miss Scrooge, ma'am, we did discuss it. It's Christmas Day. You gave me the day off.
I, Liora Nazar Scrooge? Would I ever do such a thing?
No, I mean, yes, but you did.
Bah, I've had a fill of your ramblings.
And I've had my fill of you, Mrs. Scrooge.
Misma, my dear. Oh, Miss Scrooge. Oh, God.
And therefore, Rowa Cratchit, channel V&U.
And therefore, you can leave our home.
And therefore, I'm going to raise your salary.
Pardon?
Excuse me?
Yes, Rowa, raise your salary and pay your mortgage on this home of yours.
You're going to what? Oh, please come inside, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. I hope you don't mind. I brought a few guests.
I don't know if we have enough chairs for everyone, but it is Christmas after all. The more the merrier.
Scrooge was better than her word. She did all that she promised to do and then some, giving back to those who showed her kindness, being humble and charitable, caring for those who were in need. Scrooge found herself a new life from those hauntings, a new family with the Cratchits, a new connection with her current family, and a chance at a long, forgotten love. And to small Zeli, who did not die, Scrooge became like a third mother to her, a good friend and a good person. Scrooge never saw the spirits again, but kept their lessons close to her heart. Even years after, the city folk always said that Scrooge knew how to keep Christmas well, knowing the deeper compassion that it brings. May that truly be said about all of us. And so, as small Zeli observed, V&U bless us, everyone. The end. Merry Christmas!